Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about Titans Season 4 Episode 1, Lex Luthor. So I'm behind. I'm behind about 5 episodes because I just got HBO Max. I did the Black Friday discount thing, and when I got it, I could not watch anything because I still had Apple Plus and I had to get through that. And my God, I had Apple Plus for 3 months and I literally started watching stuff, well, free for 3 months. And they still got that deal on there for, it's towards the end of the year, I believe. And you get like 3 months for free on Apple Plus. And so because I had like Disney Plus and then Hulu, I had to finish those. So I only had like a week to watch of Apple Plus. And I only got it so I can watch Dickinson about Emily Dickinson. Cause that's the only thing on there I like. And I wanted to finish watching that. And my God, I'm not even joking. I could not find anything else good to watch on Apple Plus. I literally could not. Everything I tried to watch was so boring. Like it was boring. It was slow. It was slowly I can't talk. Paced. It was slowly paced, and not only that, but everybody kept talking slow, and it had that muted color palette and also like a bluish color. So many shows had that on there. I'm like, why? Is that like a requirement for like the streaming site for all y'all shows to be like bleak and muted and stuff? And there were shows on there that sounded so interesting and cool, but I could not get through them. I just said, screw it. And I've only ever talked about 3 Apple Plus shows. One I love is Dickinson. The other 2, I'm just like, okay, not great, but it's all right and everything, you know? And yeah, I now know why they have 3 months for free because this shows just suck. But enough of that. So, Titans. Now, when it comes to Titans, I never give my expectations up as much as I used to in the past because I've been disappointed in the past many times when it comes to Titans. Titans is a very messy show. Titans is a very confusing show. Titans should not have to be this hard to write and everything and get the characters right. And it's been that way since day 1 of season 1. And I don't understand. It's not that hard to write characters. It's not that hard to write TV shows, and it's not that hard to write comic book TV shows. But yet, for some reason, Greg Berlanti and his team have the hardest time struggling when it comes to this show. Even though Doom Patrol isn't like comic book perfection and everything and accurate, it's still an awesome show. What's up for that 3rd season of Doom Patrol? Boy, please let season 4 redeem that of season 3. Please, 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 please. But anyway, back to Titans. So Titans is always one of those shows that I have a love-hate relationship to. Because I want to love it so much, but I'm so irritated by it. And I've said this before, I truly believe every season's in its own parallel dimension because they're so vastly different from the others and they never bring up anything mostly from like the past. And I can honestly say this episode was all right. Like it was actually pretty okay. It wasn't great by no means. It wasn't perfect, but it was okay and it kept my intrigued and everything. Now there are some things about this episode I did not like and I will address it. But I will say the best part of the first episode is anything and everything that had to do with Lex Luthor. Lex is a very complicated character to get right on the live action. It's either hit or it's missed. Normally in animation it's always a hit, except for one. That Superman Brainiac Attack movie. I like the movie. It's great. It is not canon to Superman the Animated Series, but it has one of the worst Lex Luthors of all time in that animated movie. And man, one day I gotta talk about that movie. Anyway, because it's funny. It has the same art style, but yet it's not canon. Anyway, but when it comes to Lex in live action, it is very, very difficult to get him right. And for the most part, he's never really been portrayed right, except for in Smallville. Because the Smallville version of Lex Luthor acted pretty similar to that of the one from Superman the Animated Series. And Gene Hackman, he did a really cool job, but he did a very comedic job, and he would not shave his head and stuff. But it was to the point where it was a little bit campy at times. And then, Kevin Spacey, I hope his shillelagh falls off. I could not stand him. And the one dude from, what's his name? Jesse Eisenberg. I can't remember that dude's name. That dude was just terrible. Like, that dude was terrible. He was terrible. He was terrible. He's one of the reasons why I hate Batman v Superman so much. Like, I went to the theaters and paid money for that. Did I pay money for that, or did I get a free ticket? Either way, I'm just pissed I had to suffer through that entire terrible movie. Anyway. So, but Lex is a very hard character to get, right. Now, when it comes to the live action versions, the one in Superboy, the television series, the first one was okay, but the second one, when they replaced him, was just god awful and everything. And I don't even remember if he was in that Dean Cain Superman show. I literally don't even remember. And I never really watched Supergirl that much, and so I don't really know about John Cryer except for the Crisis episodes, and he was okay and everything. He was a lot better than I thought he would be, and he's the first one who gave us bearded Lex. And the new dude Titus, I've seen him in so many things. The first thing was Star Trek Voyager and stuff, and boy, he had a thick beard on him. But he was really good as Lex and stuff. He had that cold, just jerkish demeanor similar to that of the dude from Smallville. But sadly, this dude is gone in the first episode. Now, I don't know why. Maybe it's a contractual thing with the whole Lex character, but I'll get into that a little bit later and stuff. And so I liked every scene with that dude in there. And, it was nice to have some action. Got 2 action scenes. And a whole lot of talking. I mean, a whole lot of talking. However, the dialogue did not bother me. The dialogue was okay because it was relevant to that of the plot of, the episode and stuff. It still has that blue filter to it, which pisses me off. So many of the characters still don't seem like themselves. And I'm glad Raven's in this episode because she was gone a lot in the 3rd season. But why do they have her dressing like an older lady now? I don't get her. They cannot do her character justice. Either the way they write her or the outfits they put on her. Now there is one scene in here that will forever piss me off. Because it's like, look, if you ain't got the money to do it, don't even tease us with it. Don't even tease us. And also, how do you not have the money for it? Because Doom Patrol can do a lot with the budget they had. And when Stargirl was on DC Universe, which also Doom Patrol and Titans was on, she had the budget to do stuff a lot in the first season. And not to mention, like the Hulu, the Runaways, the Marvel show, they had a budget to have like a dinosaur on there. And their dinosaur was half mechanical and half CGI at times. So there is no excuse for Titans. I don't know where the budget has gone, but it didn't go much. And so, but for the most part, I will say this was a decent episode. Wasn't great, wasn't perfect, but it didn't irritate me as much as other episodes in the past. And, I do feel like they now have that nice balance of dark grittiness and lighthearted, humor and stuff like that. And it's about time because they need that balance. And I do like the little joke of them talking about, oh, we are not going back to Gotham, because so many fans did not ever want them to go to Gotham again because of the third season. And I will still say, even though Bruce Wayne did not appear in this episode, he was mentioned a lot. And I mean a lot. He is still the worst Batman Bruce Wayne ever. Not the actor, just the way they portray him. First of all, he's too old. And two, it turns out this dude is scared of Lex Luthor. Batman from Batman the anime series was never scared of that dude. So that's just shameful. What is it? Does Grant Bertinelli just don't like Batman? Does he not like Bruce Wayne? Because I've noticed something. He seems to go out his way to piss on Batman a lot. He did it in the Arrowverse constantly. And I mean constant to the point where Green Arrow's all like, Batman's a myth. I don't believe he's real. But how could he not believe the dude is real? The dude's been around for like so many years in the Arrowverse and stuff. That was the first time they pissed on him. Then the second time is when they kept making him such an incompetent person on Batwoman and stuff. And I'm just kind of like, dude, he's the Batman. He ain't that incompetent. And now on Titans, they always mess him up. They've been messing him up since season 1 before he even appeared, making him into this gruesome, angry man. And then this old man who's trying to kill himself. And now a man who's scared of Lex Luthor. Like, come on, man. So let's actually get into this episode and some of the things I like and what the things I don't and stuff like that. So the Titans are still doing their road trip on the RV. And, that's a nice little scene. They're actually getting along. They're hanging out, They're bowling and stuff. They're doing that stuff people are known for them doing in, like, comics and in cartoon series. They're just hanging out, having a good time like teens, even though 2 of the members aren't even teenagers and stuff. But it's nice to see them like hang out. This is something we've been wanting to see since season 1. Them just hanging out and having a good time and not bickering and arguing with each other. It seems like they're going to start up that whole Corey and Dick romance again, which is something that was completely dropped from season 1. And people have been asking, yo, what happened to that and stuff. And then, they get like a call having to go back to Metropolis and everything. Star Labs wants to see them. And Superman wants to see Koriand'r and stuff. Now, when they get there, Superman has decided he has to go to outer space and take care of some stuff. Even though Superman was not seen on screen, just the presence, like his presence was still there in the form of a letter he wrote to Koriand'r and what he's actually doing. He's out in space and he's saving people. If something's going wrong with like a star or something like that, and he has to save a planet, probably of aliens and stuff, and make sure they're okay. And I like the idea of Superman actually doing Superman stuff. What I'm saying? That's been one huge complaint about the DCEU is that Cavell's like, Superman doesn't really act like Superman because he's not written to be like Superman and stuff. So it's nice to have that presence of him be doing the actual Boy Scoutish type heroic thing. Only problem I have with that is, look, I don't like being teased. Don't tease me thinking Superman's gonna be in here and he's not. You know what I'm saying? We see the statue of him and everything, and it's the classic old school costume with the tights and everything, which is kind of weird because with Titans, I don't really see nobody wearing tights. And when we had that makeshift Batman silhouette type thing, it didn't look like he was wearing tights on that. So they could at least took the tights out. But I understand comic book fans, there's a lot that want the tights. There's a lot of people who want Henry Cavill to wear the tights. I don't. Just put them in some pants. The tights are over with, people. All right, it's been about 40 years. It's over with, all right? And so that was a nice statue and everything. And it makes you wonder what his face will look like if they were to ever cast an actor, because you can kind of make the face out pretty clearly. But I don't like being teased with Superman. But it is nice to have his presence still in the episode, even though he is not there. So, of course, Connor is bummed. And I can understand why he's bummed. He wants to meet one of his fathers, you know what I'm saying? And he's never got to meet the man, like never. Which is funny because they was in Metropolis off screen and he still never met the dude and stuff. And you know, that's a big thing about Superboy the clone. He's always wanted to meet like Superman and all this other stuff. And that's how it was like a huge thing in the Young Justice cartoon. And then Superman's all like, I don't want to deal with this, and which really hurt his feelings. And so, you know, you could feel his grief and everything. And so with that, while they're there, the whole Star Labs know who they are, their identities, and I hate that. Like, people need superhero identities, but of course, nobody has that no more. So they all like, all right. So they retrofitted the RV, made it black and high tech inside. They gave Tim a staff. Now, Tim, he was cooler in season 3. Why do I say that? It's because after they retrofitted the RV, he saw that there's a sports car inside, and he was giddy with belief, and he ran to the car like a giddy schoolboy and everything. And I'm just like, man up, man! Like why are you bouncing, hopping up and down? Like, I'm not even joking. He's bouncing, hopping up and down, and running, bouncing up and down. And I'm just like, dude. Like, don't do that to his character and everything. Like, don't do that to his character. Because he was cooler in season 3. And then with the big reveal of his character in this season, don't do that with his character. Because it's going to look like a gay stereotype and everything. Why? Because now this version of Tim Drake is gay, just like the comic is now gay. And there's some people who have issue with that. Because, you know, Tim Drake in the comics was straight for an extremely long time. And now he's gay in a relationship, or at least bi in a relationship with Bernard. And Bernard is in this episode. It's very recent in the comics. I never knew about it. And you know, it's not a big deal. I mean, think about it. In season 3, nobody knew his sexuality, so what does it matter? However, I will say it does suck that he ain't gonna be able to hook up with Stephanie Brown now, like in the comics. Because they did cameo her in the 3rd season with just a photo. So it would have been nice if she actually appeared and stuff like that. Because they have a huge romance in the comics. And it is huge, to the point where she took over as Robin. And so, you know, my only problem with him this episode is don't make him into a stereotype, because stereotypes suck. Because one thing about gay men is that one of the stereotypes is that how a lot of them are overly flamboyant and girly and stuff like that. And the best thing I can think of is Modern Family with Cameron and everything. The actor is straight. He played a gay man, and he played it very flamboyantly. And people are tired of that stereotype, you know. So when they had him giddy and bouncing up and down and running to the car like a little schoolboy, it just felt like a stereotype. But they gave him a staff in this episode. And I have to say, for the props, that's a cheap looking staff. It just looks like aluminum and everything. And the design is terrible. Why does animation always do it better? Even the Daredevil staff and like the Daredevil Netflix show is so much better and stuff. Even Dick Grayson's staff was a bit better than that. It's basically the same thing, just all metal looking, and it just looks cheap. And so, like, him and Bernard, they talk, and Bernard's all like, oh, if you have any problems, and he gave him his number, and, you know, and so he doesn't reveal that he likes him to the other people, but, you know, Raven's kind of teasing him a little bit, so that's basically all he does in, like, the episode. And then we get the Beast Boy. And the dude who plays Beast Boy, man, he has changed a lot. He's gained more muscle. He's changed his hair. And so Star Labs finally has an outfit, a costume for him. And it's about freaking time. His jacket looks different, too. It looks like they added more green to it. And so basically he has like a wristband, and he touches it, and it like grafts like nanotech on him building the suit. This is my huge complaint in the episode. See, we saw him use his powers when he was bowling. He made like an octopus arm. That's all they could afford. And so like, okay, it's like cool. He's testing his powers out. He's probably gonna have more animal stuff, right? Right. Well, think of it like She-Hulk. She's about to transform, but then she transforms off camera. And that's basically what happened with him. He touched it, his eyes glue, and then he went into like this dreamlike state, full of sand and everything with the costume on. And then they woke him up, and Star Labs is trashed. How did it get trashed? Well, off screen, because they could not afford to do this. They told him, dude, you turned into a gorilla and an armadillo, and you turned into a velociraptor, and you tore the whole lab up. Why? Don't know. It's a mystery. They think it could be the suit. I don't know how, but whatever. And all I could think is, y'all couldn't show that. You couldn't show that just a little bit. You couldn't even like CGI the armadillo. And I'm all like, it's time for Hollywood to go old school practical. Make a gorilla suit, for the love of God. That's all you have to do. It ain't gotta be perfect, but I will accept it. Make a freaking gorilla suit, put a stunt double in there, and go nuts. And as for the raptor, if Hulu of all people, can build a convincing mechanical velociraptor, both practically and CGI. I know this like streaming app can do it. You know what I'm saying? Because Doom Patrol is able to do a lot. And if Doom Patrol is able to do a lot, you should be able to do more. So there is no excuse for why they don't have the budget to do that. So I will always be pissed at this scene because they like cheated us and everything. If you're one of those people who complains about She-Hulk transforming off screen, but you're okay with this scene right here, you ain't got no reason to ever complain again. Plain and simple as that. And so, like, Corey gets to test her powers out and everything, and so basically, like, oh, how long have you had these powers? Oh, I was born with them, but I lost them, but now I got them back. And honestly, I kind of miss her fire now. I mean, I don't know, they're not really doing much with her little bolts, and I just kind of miss her fire now. And as for Raven, I don't think Raven does anything when she's there. I can't really remember. But then we get a scene with this one dude, and he's kind of, I don't know, he's doing something on the floor. I think it's Sebastian Blood. I believe that's his name, Brother Blood, who he'll become. And so he's doing something. I'm not sure exactly what. But then there's a woman, Mother Mayhem, I think it is. She works for Lex. And basically, she has found something he's been looking for. And as soon as he finds it, Lex does what Lex does, like he always does, he fires her. She's getting pissed, and she's all like, whoever possesses that will pay or something like that, or some kind of weird, magical, like cursey type thing. And so she's very pissed. She's very pissed and everything. We'll see more of her later on in this season. And so then, what is it? We get this really cool scene with this dude wearing a mask. So basically, it's a man and a woman. I think they're like watching a movie. And she's eating Chinese food. She's eating noodles, but her noodles turns into worms and there's blood pouring out her mouth. It freaks the dude out. And then, so there's a person behind them wearing some type of mask. And he cuts the throat of like the woman, and I think he kills the dude as well. And it's like, whoa, who is this dude? He's so cool. I'm pretty sure, I don't know. I haven't looked it up yet, but he's part of that group with, the Brother Blood and all them and stuff like that. I'm very curious to know how they're going to do him, because I remember him from Teen Titans and stuff, and he had a very distinct vibe to him in Teen Titans, the cartoon series. And so while after they leave Star Labs and everything, Connor gets a message from Lex. He uses some type of high frequency type thing that only Connor can hear. And I wonder if Superman could hear it off world, I wonder. And so, like, now they're like, all right, gotta go back to Metropolis and everything. So they go to Lex, but Dick, of course, he's weary of it because he's all like, Bruce Wayne was scared of Lex Luthor. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Greg, stop pissing on Batman. So he sends in Corey and everything, and she fights off a bunch of guards in a really cool way. It's kind of like a Daredevil hallway scene, but from a faraway distance with the stunt double. And at first I thought maybe it was the actress doing all that because they had the same shape of butt. But they must have put some padding for the stunt double and stuff and everything. Yeah, I'm gonna get away from that. Anyways, so she makes her grand entrance, and it's really cool. And I like the way she whooped on them and everything. She's wearing her suit, and her and Lex have like some really like juicy dialogue and everything. And then she slips a bug in his laptop. It's basically a flash drive with wings on it. It's a little too cartoony, but I will accept it. But the fact that Bruce Wayne made that was just kind of weird. So I just don't see him making a flash drive with wings on it and without a bat symbol emblem on there. Or just a regular flash drive. So that's kind of weird, but whatever. I'll let it slide and everything. So they're spying on him and everything, Lex. And they hack his laptop. And this is the part that I'm confused because it's been a while since I saw season 2 or season 3 and even season 1. No, this is our first time meeting Lex. We were introduced to Mercy in season 2, which, where is she, by the way? I'd rather see her than Madam Blood and stuff. But anyway, I know Lex experimented on Gar and he created Connor. But I don't think he ever dipped his toes in that of Corey. I don't think she's ever met him. I don't think she's ever been like, you know, captured by any of his lab people. Maybe, but I don't remember. That could be who the lab people were in season 3. Maybe, but I'm not sure. And you think they would have addressed that when they was in Metropolis before, but, you know, off screen, but like whatever. But it seems like those two know each other, or she knows him well and she just doesn't like him. And he brings up her sister and how she's on the kingdom and all this other stuff on the throne. And how does he know that? So I'm thinking maybe it is that lab dude from season 3 who probably worked for Lex, probably. But anyway, Dick, as they're spying on him and Tim, Lex sent in ninjas and stuff. And the ninja outfits are pretty rinky-dink. I've seen better ninja outfits on Power Rangers. But the choreography and the action was just alright. It could have been so much better in my opinion. But it was nice to have a fight scene. Basically, I've seen better fights on Power Rangers than in this episode. Which is shocking. Because when it comes to the dude who plays Dick, he's always really good in the choreography, and they always give him some really great action scenes. So it was kind of weird that it was a slightly lackluster and everything. And his suit looks different. It looks bulkier and everything. Either he's gained more muscle, and they had to change the suit, or they made it more bulkier so him and the stunt double can like move around better. But I was a little slightly disappointed in his fight, only because season 3, my God, he was amazing in those fight scenes and stuff. But basically, I was kind of weirded out at how Tim can slightly hold his own to that of a trained ninja. Yeah, he got thrown on the ground, but he was still holding his own until Dick had to like rescue him and stuff. And Tim needs training. Why is Dick sending, well, Dick didn't send him nowhere. They just got ambushed, but it'll be nice to see him train Tim like he trained the other Titans in season 2. So I don't like the idea of Tim just not having no training and stuff like that, because he could easily die. And if Tim is not trained and if he does not get a suit halfway into the season, I'm gonna be pissed. And they should just let them in Gotham if they were just gonna do that crap. And so like basically when like later on it turns out that Lex is dying. He only has 6 months because, you know, just like in the comics, he kept kryptonite around just to like take out Superman in those 40 years. Wow, Superman's about 40 in this show, and in those 40 years it poisoned him and it's giving him cancer. So he's looking for a way to live. So he wants to talk to Koriand'r, and Koriand'r agrees. And so when they talk, he just basically is all like, look, man, I just want you to live with me for 6 months. I'm your father and everything, and blah, 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 and all this. I want you to take over the company when I die. And Koriand'r, you know, he agrees and stuff like that. And so, but then the strangest thing happened. Sebastian, I think his name, my brother Blood, he starts to spaz out. And then when he's in the mirror, his reflection has taken over and everything. But it's weird. His reflection in the mirror is the normal one, and the one that we actually see, the physical one, is crazy and stuff. And then all of a sudden, the craziest stuff starts to happen. Now, Raven had a vision earlier in this episode, and now she's feeling the effects of another vision. Lex is spewing blood out and everything, and there's so much blood pouring out his mouth, and then a giant snake comes out his mouth. Koriand'r takes the snake and he fries it and everything. While this is going on, Raven is freaking out and she's just throwing up blood. And then once Lex has stopped and died, yes, Lex dies and everything, then Raven stops. They didn't give Raven much of anything to do. Gar, once again, had much of nothing to do. I don't know why they keep dressing Raven up like an older lady now. And, you know, so all she did was basically just scream and be in a relationship now with Gar, which, yeah, when she said she loved him in season 3, which is just kind of weird. I thought she said she loved like everybody equally, but I guess she loved him a whole lot more and stuff. So that's fanship because, you know, like the Teen Titans cartoon and some comics and stuff like that. So then Lex's like bodyguards, they come in and they arrest that of Koriand'r, and it ends. So Lex is literally dead. And my thing is, why in the world did y'all bring him in just to kill him off in the first episode? Not to mention, he was the best thing of the entire episode. And that pisses me off. So it's like, God, now I'm being teased with him now. And this could be a number of reasons. Maybe the actor is busy. I think he does have that Bosch spinoff show, I think. But then it's kind of like, okay, maybe they can't bring Lex in because of all the new movie deals going on with DC and Warner Brothers. Maybe, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? And because Supergirl is over with, so he was on that show, but not no more. And so I don't know, because DC is very, like, you know, adamant about not having characters appear in more than one medium and stuff. But he's not being used right now, so I don't know why they couldn't use him. So it's just a huge tease of bringing him in and then just killing him off like that. So that totally sucks. But like I said before, this episode was pretty all right and everything. It was cool. The dialogue was cool. I don't like the teases in here. I never like being teased. That's why I don't watch teaser trailers, because they just piss me off and everything. But all in all, it was a pretty solid episode. Could have been a whole lot better, but it was all right and everything. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.